Hey everybody, welcome to the Ruin Podcast. We are live at Union Station here for Consumer Night, ISRI Consumer Night in St. Louis, Missouri. Having a grand old time.
Hello.
Brooks, how you feeling? How you living?
I'm feeling like I need to start drinking again, man.
Violated.
Yeah.
How do you feel after night one, Brooks? It is now day 2, and you are looking.
I feel like I'm looking peaked, and I feel like I either need to start drinking or just go to bed.
Well, that's what this is about, man. It's just coming here and drinking, isn't it?
It seems to be. Yeah.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. And last night we sprinted our fucking legs off.
Treating it like a sprint.
We have done some great networking though. This is a great event. We have a blast at it. We had a real Noah back in. Gets a little loose.
Yeah, I get a little loose.
Got candy in those heels.
Tonight
You do? Candy in those heels. So be doing the ballroom tonight. Exciting times. Love to see our friends and definitely some of our family as we consider around here. So the Union Station has been awesome. This place is great. We'll show some video of the area here, but really looking forward to keep networking and keep moving this thing forward. We have some great guests coming up, including Mr. Drake. Is it Hougo? Drake Hougo from ReMatter.
He does not have a mustache this year, so I'm a little pissed.
A little disappointed. But we got to have dinner with those guys last night. Sean had a mustache.
Sean has a pretty sick mustache going on.
You guys, they don't let Wyatt out of the cave no more. There must be something going on with Wyatt that we don't know about. So Wyatt, if you're watching, bud, we miss you. We love you. We'll see you soon.
You act like he's like in a hospital or something.
He might.
He's just not here.
We don't know.
We love you. We miss you. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the other side.
Get well soon.
We also got Tom Jansen from Sierra International Machinery coming on today, as well as Sean Davis from Davidson Index. So we're looking really forward to that, and I hope everybody has a good show. We are excited to have Mr. Drake Hougo from ReMatter.
Dog.
That's right, baby. Dog. on the Ruin Podcast. Drake, thank you for being here, bud.
Oh, thanks for having me on. It's great to be here. Beautiful day in St. Louis, down here at Consumers Night. Always great seeing you guys. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank you for putting up with us last night. Sorry Noah behaved the way that he did.
I don't think I was out of line.
If there was anybody out of line, it was Drake.
Drake was out of line.
My beer.
I don't think you were out of line either.
Noah was on one. We kept it under control. We got some early meetings, you know.
We had a good meal last night, though.
We did, yeah.
Noah got the BLT, and as did I. A lot of bacon.
A lot of bacon.
All right, that's not what we're here for, though.
No.
So let's talk about ReMatter. So, Drake, thanks for joining us on here on the Ruin Podcast. Tell us a little bit about ReMatter. Maybe you're starting into the business, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, backstory of ReMatter, basically spun up out of a class project that myself and my two co-founders, Sean and Wyatt, did.
Dog.
Both dogs.
Just a couple dogs.
Yeah.
A couple dogs.
100%. No, it was really fortunate. Like, met Sean, our very first week of school. We bonded over. We were both runners, so met through Stanford Running Club. Ended up meeting Wyatt basically a year later. And ReMatter, like, the original idea came from an internship that Wyatt did through this clean tech accelerator. Basically, when people think about recycling, a lot of times they think of like blue bin residential stuff. They're not necessarily thinking about like industrial or scrap recycling. Right. Or if they do, it's like junkyards, and they don't understand that the material has value. So basically, came into the world of scrap. Our senior year, fall of 2019, was when we were in this product design class. We essentially found ISRI, started cold calling, cold emailing scrapyards in and around the Bay Area, and we were just blown away. I mean, none of us had any family in scrap, or even like really seen a scrapyard outside of selling cans as a kid. And we just saw like the equipment was badass. The people knew their material super well. But when it came to software, there really wasn't that much good software out there. It's a lot of like local on-prem stuff, like really old school interfaces, pen and paper, straight into QuickBooks. So our background was in software and product. So we started working on it while we were still students.
I want to dive a little more into ReMatter. I do want to tell you that if you think you're a runner, me and Brooks are ready to race you whenever you're ready. Right, Brooks?
I'm down.
Yeah, it's a race for sure.
I don't know why you keep trying to foot race people.
You don't think I can move.
No, I didn't say that.
They call me Whiskers.
You can... A race to the bar, you're beating me for sure. Anything beyond that, though, I'm taking you down.
If the reward is going to be booze, then Jeff's going to win every time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, tell us a little bit more about ReMatter specifically. What applications does it handle for maybe a scrapper on an everyday basis?
Yeah, for sure. So ReMatter, at its core, it's like the operating system for scrapyards. So kind of 5 big buckets of functionality: dispatch, scale ticketing, inventory management, sales, and reporting and accounting. So the way that we view it is, ReMatter is basically the one software that you need to run your scrap operation of any size. So most of our recyclers, they'll run ReMatter, then they'll run like a QuickBooks or a Sage or a Xero accounting program, and it's essentially running their whole business. And it's just a really exciting time to be a part of the industry and hopefully help usher in some of that change.
And you guys integrate with a lot of those accounting softwares too, right? So it's a lot of just file out into your accounting software. So you don't necessarily have to replace a lot of software guys might have, in place already.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, all the accounting softwares. Yeah. QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop. Those are the two programs we see most frequently. Xero used pretty commonly internationally. Sure. Sage, and once you get to the like really heavy duty level, like NetSuite and those types of products, it's a little bit different of a ball game. But that's what's nice about the system. It's very modularized and pretty darn easy to implement. Like it's just a matter of having the right people on your side who are trained up, know how to use the system, and then you're off to the races.
Absolutely. And as some full disclosure, we are a customer of ReMatter, so
great customer.
Love the product. A quick, brief story on us, real quick. We were actually going to build our own, and my brother-in-law is a coder. He was actually going to code a software.
I remember talking to him. Yeah, I did a demo here in St. Louis for him. I popped up to the hotel room.
Really? He didn't tell me he was doing that. I just sent it to him. And he called me right away and said, "You need to take advantage of this software versus me building you anything." He said, "It's very affordable for what it does. It's all encompassing, and I also enjoy the subscription part of it versus, hey, spend X amount of dollars with us. You also get no support. You guys are awesome about your customer service and everything. We've had great experience with it. Even Noah knows how to run it. That's the best part.
Yeah.
When you get a guy like me that can run a software." I mean, it's tailored to anybody in the business, I would say.
I hope you don't mind me telling this. So forever, I was like, Noah, learn this program. Like, you got to use it. You got to use it. And I had to kind of push him into doing it a little bit. No pun intended there, by the way.
Yeah,
but when it happened, he calls me and goes, "Dude, this is pretty easy to use."
Why the fuck were we not doing this every day?
Hey, that's music to my ears, right? That's the goal. It's supposed to be easy.
I gotta ask though, like when you were just cold calling these random scrap yards and showing them the product, were they like the dudes that were still doing it on paper and pencil? Were they confused by it, or how did they take it when you guys were going around trying to sell it to them?
Yeah, it's interesting. So like when we were still students, I mean, we weren't trying to start a company necessarily. We were just like really interested in the space, and we're just asking tons and tons of questions. So we spent, probably 3 or 4 months basically like drawing stuff like pen and, Sharpie on like printer paper. And then we like worked our way up to like, clickable prototypes and stuff. And just like the more we learned about the space and visiting yards, the more people are like, hey, we need a tool like this. This can help my business.
Oh, yeah.
And that really kind of gave us the confidence to start building stuff out. And I think the thing too, it's like every like owner who wants to grow their company, like they know technology is going to be part of their future business plan, but it's scary as hell. And transitioning all of your employees, a lot of whom who have worked for you for a long time, is a big lift.
Antiquated industry too. Like it's
totally.
I think maybe where Noah was going with this, but I used to joke that when I came to what is now Push, a different scrapyard at the time, I had to bring email with me because they weren't using it. Or Brooks's dad actually worked for us for a long time and was a big fan of a ledger book. Instead,
there you go, old school. Yeah.
And he's kind of last of a dying breed, right? I mean, everybody's moving off paper, and ReMatter is just a way to do that for these guys.
Also, the ease of use from on web based is probably the wrong way. Or maybe that's the right way to say it, but basically you can use it on any tablet, phone, any device, mobile device.
Totally.
And that has changed the way we operate completely.
Oh,
and it's made our functionality a lot better as a scrapyard.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's great to hear. I mean, the mobile thing is a critical pillar of like how we view our product roadmap. Like, you can do everything on your phone nowadays, basically, and you should be able. Like, the most important thing probably in a lot of scrap owners' lives is their family and their business, and you can't view anything about your business on your phone at all. You got to get these emailed reports and stuff. So that's why we're trying to build just like a really kick-ass, smooth experience for a phone.
And that was very important to us on the purchase of it. Honestly, how this came about was Julie and I, we've got a cabin on the Mississippi River. We wanted to be able to be there and see what was going on with the business, and even on the weekend, whether it's our dispatching job board or stuff that might be coming up. We didn't have that before. It was built on our old program was built on SQL Server.
Yeah.
And at one point there was only one computer in the entire company that could run this thing still. So I think that's been a great addition to our business for sure. And I know Noah's in it a lot. I'm sure Brooks likes it. We can just ask him. Do you like it, Brooks, or
yeah,
not?
Absolutely.
All right.
I think it's great. But I wanted to ask, I know you're always making improvements to the program. Are there any like new features that you're looking to add this year?
Yeah, definitely. So I think, a couple things on like the roadmap. Like one thing that has definitely just been in our blood from the very beginning is just intense, maniacal focus on our customers and the way they run their business. And I think one of the things that's been interesting, and I wish I could go back to like when we first started building and kind of like shake myself and be like, even though this is the same business, scrapyard to scrapyard, people operate vastly differently. So, a lot of what we've been focused on is really, setting up our system to be like these big ERPs are, in the sense that it's very flexible, customizable. So some big things we have in the works right now, we're rolling out essentially this like fully new inventory module with, super accurate weighted average cost. You're able to run all these numbers in real time. Like a lot of computation going on under the hood, but I think it's going to be a big unlock for yards. We're working on a workflow generator, which especially for companies with like big, payables teams, let's say, hey, we're buying from XYZ company, it's over X dollar value, send Noah an email to like approve payment of this. So, this workflow generator is just going to allow people to like set up all the different paths and notifications and things they need to really run their business. So,
yeah, I mean, you mentioned the inventory module. I mean, I also want to say that too. We've got a lot of folks who maybe are not technologically advanced
for sure
on our labor force, and all of them have easy use of this program. Like it's great. It's very straightforward, and like I said, it's really streamlined our processes for sure. So, is there anything you can't tell us that you will tell us right now about ReMatter coming up?
Well, I mean, on the roadmap front, I think something that's a really hot topic just in the news and media is like AI. Artificial intelligence is huge. OpenAI, ChatGPT, and even here in St. Louis, talking to people, like people are using it to like write email copy and all sorts of stuff.
That shit scares me though.
It is. For real though. It is scary.
It's scary. If we can't even open the email anymore. We're just.
It just responds for you.
Yeah, no, pretty much. But so, the question, and I think what's cool is like we're really uniquely situated to like go after and incorporate, a lot of this AI technology in our product. That Sean, my co-founder, he specialized, he studied computer science at Stanford. He specialized in AI. So I'm like, we have an absolute dog on the team who's able to, get after some of these big projects. So we're working on this material identification project using computer vision. So imagine you have like a Gaylord box of, some material go underneath a camera. If your operator misgrades that material compared to what the computer model says, it'll flag it so you can go through and review it.
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, there's some cool shit we got cooking.
That'll teach the people in the warehouse and the people getting into it. Yeah, that'll teach them so much slicker.
As like a training aid.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
No, and that's been one of the things with us too is upgrading of material. I feel the system is so simple but yet so vast that we don't take advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more that we should specialize in time into, learn the program as a team more and do that. And so do you guys offer, your support's awesome from my experience. Can you talk about that at all for anybody that might be wondering, is it hard to get a hold of you guys? Or
Yeah, for sure.
It is hard?
No, it's not.
For sure it is hard. You try to get a t-shirt, it's a little hard.
Yeah, it's a little too easy. No, I mean, it's honestly we've built the customer success team incredibly well. So we have phone, text, email, and live chat. We rolled out live chat last year, and I think our average response time on there is 3 minutes or something ridiculous.
Awesome, yeah.
You're talking to a real human, someone based in the US who knows the software, and it's that's the thing too. It's your business is urgent, and if you have some crackhead who's pissed off and yelling at you and you need a question, you need help quick because you're trying to get this dude off your yard as fast as possible. So that level of urgency has been really pressed on our team.
Those are our favorite. What we should do, kid? We should start bumping.
You should start a podcast. Yeah.
In our scrapyard.
Dude, I could stay busy with that all day.
I feel like you might. I feel like you already do this. So.
You remember when you tried to fly the drone in the yard?
I ran it into a tree.
The only tree in the mile radius we have, he hits it. The drone, I've never seen the drone again.
Those trees come out of nowhere, man. It happens.
Well, awesome. So, Drake, where can anybody that wants to find out more about this product, where can they go, or where can we find more information at?
Yeah, definitely. So you can go to rematter.com, and it breaks down all of our different features and stuff, request a demo. But, the other thing, too, it's we love getting out to these events like this, ISRI Consumer Night, out on folks' yards. So we'll be at ISRI in Vegas in April, which we're super excited about, taking out a big crew. But yeah, just request a demo, and ultimately, we'll walk you through the software. we want to make sure it's like a good fit for your business and understand your business and the needs there. So,
Man, you got quite the team here in St. Louis.
oh, we got a great team.
Yeah. How many you got here?
Yeah.
We got 5 folks right now. So my co-founder Sean, Catherine Denny, she's been with us for 6 months, and then Colin and Tabor, who they recently joined our sales team as well.
Jessica in my office loves Kat. She talks about it all the time. She's like, she's the greatest human that's ever lived.
She's wonderful.
We met. I'm gonna say this wrong. What's your new gal's name?
Oh, Colin, Colin and Tabor.
Tabor.
Yeah.
Tabor.
Is she from Alabama?
She's from Birmingham.
Yeah, that's
She
right.
is,
She told
yeah,
us
yeah.
that.
Me and Noah was singing "Paint Me a Birmingham" to her a little bit ago.
That's how we warmed up the mics
Yeah,
today.
that's how we do our mic check. So, well, thank you very much for being here. I hope you have a great show, and let's catch up in Vegas for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me,
yeah.
guys. It's
All
great
right,
being
thank
on.
Thanks a bunch, Drake.
Tommy Jansen joining us, folks.
Oh, boy.
Dancing Jansen here in the flesh from Sierra International. Tommy, thanks for being here with us, buddy.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I can't imagine having anybody else.
Well,
You've been my number one guest. That's not true.
Who's your number
or
one?
maybe it is.
Who's your number one then?
I'm not allowed to talk about it, I was told.
I don't remember having that conversation.
Tommy, explain what's your position within the Sierra International and what you do for those folks.
I joined Sierra International in 2020, awesome COVID period, but
Yeah.
they gave me the opportunity. I talked to them years past, but finally the stars aligned and joined as a regional sales manager for them. I'm based out of Texas, lived down there, moved down there from Iowa in 2015.
Tejas.
Tejas, yes. But White House, Texas, home of Patrick Mahomes.
all right.
Sunday was a very exciting day in the town.
You a big Chiefs fan?
I'm not. My grandpa was a Vikings fan. My favorite uncle was a Vikings fan, so I followed suit.
Yeah.
My dad and brother were Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Just
So
off the wall.
I had a hard life growing up, and I'm a Cubs fan. So
Oh, yeah.
imagine that, Vikings and Cubs.
I'm a Cubs fan too.
Yeah.
This
But we
guy's a
love 'em.
Cincinnati Reds fan.
You like the
This
Reds?
is the oldest franchise in baseball. This is a real baseball team. You guys
Here we
can-
go.
No,
Here we go.
Hey, I support your fandom of the Cubs.
He only
like the toy
like
team.
he's such a degenerate. He just likes what Pete Rose did to cheat the game, and that's why he likes the Cincinnati
You
Reds.
can't deny Pete Rose's talent as a baseball.
I do agree with that.
He was a stud base. You can never take away his attributes in baseball.
But he
Pete
did some
Rose
shit that was questionable, which is pretty much how Brooks lives his everyday life.
But
Just-
haven't we all?
Dude.
Haven't we all?
I think all 4 of us have probably done far more questionable things than Pete Rose has.
they,
Speaking of which, how do you feel after the first night, Tommy?
yeah. Did you do
Actually,
anything
I
questionable
feel
last night?
great. You know what? Got up
Better
this
than you
morning.
should?
Yeah, maybe better than I should.
Yeah.
I socialized hard last night, but that's what I do every year when I come to this thing.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
gonna have a nice mellow night, but then I see old friends, obviously. We go way back. And then, but no, today was still productive. Had lunch. We have a couple new employees at Sierra, Cameron Keefe and Scott Kelly. So just got done having lunch with Scott and a couple other teammates. So got some stuff done still today.
Perfect. That's what it's
we
all
do.
about.
We always answer the bell.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite events in the industry by far. Consumer Night here. It is.
Oh,
It's go go go. It's not-
absolutely! It kicks off the whole ISRI year, and then we're going to Vegas this
Hell yeah.
in April.
April.
Yeah.
Week of April 15th.
Speaking of which, we need your help with something. We're trying to get Mr. Sacco to be a guest on this out in Vegas.
Well, I will mention a little something to him because he's going to be doing his podcast
Absolutely.
and gets crazy busy. But I'll put in a word and definitely put a bug
Can you
in his
sway that
ear.
a little bit? So, are you a seller of all equipment at Sierra? Do you specialize in one thing or another? Or?
I have the whole buck. So we obviously have our shears, portable loggers, RB6000s, obviously always a big one. We have our 2-ram balers, which those we've expanded down in our Jessup plant. Right now we have 96,000 square foot under hook, but we just had another expansion down there. So things are growing. And then now we're bringing in our material handlers, which we've always been in the material handler business. Our RB6000s, 4200s, they all have material handlers on them.
Absolutely.
But now we're just bringing on the full line over here in the United States and really pushing that. And it's coming on with a rave review so far from the people that have purchased.
Yeah. We've actually, personally, Push Iron and Metals owns 2 RB6000s. We love those things. Noah has done his absolute best to try to break that thing.
I have, yeah.
Have you succeeded at all?
Give or take. I mean,
You've got the older. I think yours is
have the
2005.
Yeah,
ish.
yeah.
I think. Yeah. So, but still running good.
oh yeah.
We did have a former employee, I'll say it that way, throw a solid bar end in it, and that was a little bit questionable.
You just cracked one of the pusher ram cylinders, but
So,
Yeah,
that'll happen.
That's gonna happen.
but the cylinder held up. Like,
the baler itself is so structurally sound that something like that is what's gonna hurt it. I
Right.
mean, it's not gonna hurt itself. It'll run until you.
this person couldn't figure out why we may have been upset that they threw, a 6
It
foot
was like an 8.5
inch
inch.
in diameter
Yeah,
bar
shaft.
end into the thing. So,
Yeah.
they're no longer employed. They don't have a job
Well,
anymore.
understandable. You have that. There's a little learning curve, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
might have missed that day of training and what not to put in.
Yeah.
the bail.
So, so tell us what, maybe what exciting product lines you might have coming out. I know we talked a little bit about EV being overseas right now, but maybe that's coming to the U.S. And it doesn't necessarily need to be Sierra. Do you see that industry our industry going that way, I guess?
The Tabarelli side, they're the ones that do the material handlers.
Okay.
That's a Tabarelli material handler on our portable balers.
And they're out of Italy, is that correct?
And they're based
Okay.
out of Italy. They're right there. It's family owned.
Right.
So one brother has this side, the other brother has this side. But 75 years this year that they've been making material
Wow.
handlers. So everything,
Long time, Noah.
everything's built from the ground up over there. So it is
Yeah.
a true material handler.
Noah feels like he's been alive for 75 years.
I think my body just hurts
You're like leather. You've just been
and just chewed up and
chewed
spit
up,
out.
spit out.
Hey,
and
what was
hung
the
up wet.
model that we saw in Louisville? It was such a badass little machine.
I think that's your little
The 409.
Yeah, I
the
think so.
baler or the material handler?
material handler.
Yep, that was our 409 that was there.
Is that the electric one?
Yeah, that
that was
so
not
cool to
electric.
watch
That's
work.
diesel. They're Cummins diesels.
Yeah.
Coming diesel.
But electric will come on. I mean,
It's gonna take
we have
over.
Battery, we have
Oh, yeah.
battery powered ones over here. We actually have a used one out in California right now that is available for sale.
It is. It's for sale,
But
guys.
It is. for
Tommy
sale.
is.
How'd you
Tommy
like
is
that
trying to
little
sell
kid?
us right now.
Hey,
Always
take
a salesman, aren't
advantage,
you,
buddy.
Tommy?
I look at myself not as a salesman, but as an advisor.
Oh, all right.
I
like
try
that.
to advise.
So
We
you're-
have our own recycling yard. I try to help people out that's best for them. I don't just try to sell stuff. And
Do you you know your ABCs?
about what?
Always be closing. Always be closing.
It is
Tommy.
that. But have I ever been the
No,
high pressure guy?
I will very
I'm
much
just-
say that you've
You're kind of high pressure. I'll say that.
had more friendship conversations.
Last night, yes, I
Yeah.
will friendship stuff, but
Right.
on your business side, I won't be pushing.
You won't.
that
You
way.
won't lead them astray.
No,
No.
I won't feel good if I just try to get a sale.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
If it's
obviously
not
you guys
going
are
to do
doing-
good for you, I'm not going to mention it to you.
Right.
Obviously, you guys are doing something right. You've been in business for a long time now, and the leader, and I would say in a lot of your categories that you are selling product in for sure.
Well, I think the aspect of us being our own recycling yard, I mean, that's how it started out.
Right.
And then we brought on Idrimet. We became a distributor for them here in the United States, which became Sierra International Machinery. But us being recyclers ourselves, we know what our fellow recyclers need, what they're looking at, the service aspect, the parts, being down.
Yeah.
Because we run into those same exact problems.
Sure.
We don't like being down, but we have equipment too. It's not all Sierra equipment, but when we're down, we're down.
Sure.
Right.
So
Absolutely,
we have the
100%.
same headaches.
Yep, absolutely. So, if I can switch gears a little bit, Tommy.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing me in Nashville last year?
I do remember seeing you in Nashville
Which
last
time?
year. Which time? We saw each other a lot.
We did see each other a lot. There's one, and we'll put this video clip up to you. Remind me to give this to you. You were passing by Dirks Bentley, I believe,
Yes.
and I do this thing where I, for every hour of the night, I take a button down. And at that point, I'm pretty sure the shirt was wide open, so it was time for me to go home. That's how that I tell that story.
You know, me and you were drunk when I'm wearing the cowboy hat and
Yeah.
you're wearing my ball cap.
Yep.
And then we get
So-
a picture of it like every time.
Noah comes over and goes, "Look over there," and it was
Dude,
you
it was
taking
scary.
a picture of us.
It was honestly kind of scary because Tommy's just looking into the bar, walking down the street, just staring.
I was walking and I'm like, oh, there's my fam right there. And so I just sit there and then I'm like, well, maybe I should just take a picture and let them know that I'm here
Yeah.
and text it. But then you all noticed me and then got the big reaction. I'm like, yep,
a good
and
video
I came
clip.
right in right there.
Tia, do you remember much in Nashville? Tia's birthday was while we were there.
Right.
Tia's born on 4/20 of all days. Tiny Tia.
How about that? Yeah, you wouldn't expect that
You
out
wouldn't
of
expect that out of Tia, would you?
Yeah, well,
Nope. So,
she's a good gal.
yep,
She's a good
nope.
gal.
But we had Tia's older sister with us, a.k.a. her mother. And her mother was probably our best attraction while we were in Nashville. Who's that girl that works for you? So,
Tia.
It's just Tia's sister.
I'm going to get in big trouble with Tia's dad, for sure. So, but he's usually a good sport about it. So, we love you, Mel. So,
I like you too, Mel. Never met you, but it's all good.
I'm sure Tommy would like you.
so you wanted to ask about products coming up?
Yeah, anything that you're excited about? Any new products or new features you guys are adding on to any of your specific product lines?
Everybody knows us for our shears and our 2 Rams, the Reb,
Yep.
recycle everything baler, but I am super stoked about the material handlers. You know, right now it's just a niche. Some of them are a little smaller, but it's perfect for the waste, solid waste, and the smaller recycling yards. But we are coming out with the T815. That's going to be coming in this spring with the fly cab coming down, has a 53-foot reach. So we are going to be able to compete
It's a little
with
bit bigger
some of the
than
larger ones
your traditional
than what
ones,
we
right?
currently have. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But no, they're perfect. I have customers that have the 409. It's a perfect size. It's easy to take care of, simple. O-rings, DIN fittings, don't have to worry about that. SAE, it's just a lot easier to work on
Oh, yeah.
and
sure.
maintain
Yeah.
than some other products
And
that are out
that's
there.
probably also important to point out. You guys are in other industries besides just the scrap
Yeah.
industry for sure.
Yep.
So
We're big in the MRF industry, waste. It's solid waste.
Yeah.
logging.
C&D, MRFs, you know, papers, plastic, OCC.
You guys do some logging stuff, right?
On the logging stuff, I'm not so sure on
Okay.
that. I haven't dealt with people on that, but some people do actually bale mulch. I
Okay.
know that
Really?
they've
Alright.
done wood chips with that.
I wonder how it stays together.
And the hemp guys, just the strapping system.
Yeah.
Just with the right compaction. Ours known for 30% more penetration on that extra final push on the ram.
Yep.
That was a
But-
bit aggressive how you said penetration, Tommy.
Hey, you know
He's
what?
got that extra 30%.
I will give a
Yeah,
little
he
props
does it.
to Brian Mim. He likes using that word, but it is penetrating, getting more solid push on the product,
So-
getting it more dense and more compact.
So
Yeah.
you have a 30% increase in penetration.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, we do.
Got it for sure.
Yes,
So,
we do.
and your equipment's also used for getting rid of the bodies, correct?
You may have seen some movies, and well, what is that one? That kid, that race kid. There are RB6000s. They've been in CSI Miami's and CS.
Oh, really? I did not know
They've
that.
been in that and Baby Driver.
Baby
Okay.
driver, yeah.
Yep.
We ditches a car and they bail it right there.
Yep.
I've seen that.
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen that too. Yeah.
It's an RB6000.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, hey, I got that.
Yeah.
Your products are movie stars.
Yeah.
They
Well,
are.
We like to get out there, social media, you know, John
Oh, yeah.
Sacco.
Absolutely.
He's out there, the Repurpose series. If
Yep.
you haven't watched that, you need to. It's a good watch.
I see it on
Even for us
LinkedIn
in
all the time.
Yeah, even for us in the industry,
Yep.
it's still good to be refreshed and reminded of what we are actually doing, what we're
Yeah.
all a part of. Just see the finer details of it.
Well, I think that's part of our biggest misconception in this industry. Everybody thinks junkyard dog, and you know what I mean? They think it's dirty and all this
trash.
stuff. And I've said this on this podcast before, but one of the best phrases I can use is we deal with the bluest of blue collars and the whitest of white collars. I mean, me and Brooks have sat in boardrooms for hours before trying to close a deal. But we also get the guy who's taking the shopping cart down the street, you know? So it's a very diverse industry, and it is a professional environment. It's not the junkyard dog and the fence and all that good stuff.
Right.
So,
Super eclectic group of people.
yeah.
You get the whole spectrum.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
deal with everybody. And old guy, this was the number one lesson I was taught. Don't judge a book by its cover. You always heard that growing up.
Oh, yeah.
God rest his soul, Tommy Harris. He was in Conway, Arkansas. I was guilty of it. I judged him. Walked in, bib overalls, like Big Smiths.
Yeah.
White T-shirt, chew stains all over.
He's got the straw of hay coming out of his mouth.
He did. He was just a good old boy.
Yep.
He was. And I was like, well, what am I, you know? But I stop at every place when I'm out there. didn't think that he could ever afford anything. All of a sudden, he goes, "Yep, okay, well, I'll take that." Wrote me a check right there, and I'm not kidding you. Right then and there. Well, we were there 2 hours, just BSing, because he had great stories. I mean, the guy was a great guy.
That is literally my favorite part of this industry is the stories that come out of this.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to have you back because I'm sure you'll have some story time for us. Maybe we just have a segment called Story Time with Tommy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That could get pretty interesting.
We got to touch on one thing real quick. It's just, Tommy, last night you kind of went to vampire mode, if I could say it like that.
Yep,
Where
we'll do that.
You just wanted...
So for those of you that don't know Tommy, he said it earlier, but he's originally from Iowa, the greatest state in the union, probably.
Yeah. For sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Some guy last night kept calling you Oskaloosa, which is where you're from. He'll say, "Hey, Oskaloosa."
He was really chirping you. But instead of talking to him or anything, you just wanted to take a bite out of my boy Brooks over here.
Yeah.
You said you were going to eat his cheeks.
Well, you know what? Every once you got to do that.
But you didn't really bite him. You just kind of...
Just about
the
a little
threat.
gnawing.
It's just about the thing. When you call me
a little
Oskaloosa, if you're from Iowa,
Right.
it's not Oskaloosa.
No.
It's
What
Oski.
is it?
It's Oski.
We from Oski,
There
baby.
you go. So sometimes you just got to be,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Then you say your thing like, hey, let's get this right.
Yeah, it is.
We had a lot of fun. Tommy, thanks for joining us here today. I'm sure I'll see you at the bar later, yeah?
Yeah, you'll see me down there.
Are you
I'm
gonna-
sure. Hey, at
ballroom.
least I don't have somebody right across from my room this year.
Yeah.
Like last year. I couldn't get to sleep last year.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, hey, I'll tell you what.
You're lucky we didn't share a wall.
Jesus. I'll make this politically correct. Noah and his now wife, his fiance at the time, they were young and in love and having a good time and all that good stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Tommy figures out that they're across the hall from each other.
No, he followed us to our room.
Okay.
And it got really weird because Tommy in his state, he'll just be silent. And we get to our room and he's like, "I promise I'm not following you guys. My room is right here." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And he opens his door and we're right across from each other in this giant hotel.
Because I was feeling weird. I'm like, they probably think I'm stalking them or something. And we're there, and I'm like, there is no way. Right across from each other. Like,
So my favorite part of the story, though, is you called Noah on the phone, the hotel phone. He'd never answered one of those before. That was his first time picking up
I'm like,
what
"Oh,
we call
shit."
a rotary phone.
well, I didn't know if these younger kids would know how to use those.
Exactly. I'm like, "I want to answer this right now."
He threw it out the window and said hello real quick. And he didn't know what was going on. So
Tommy answers, he goes, "Are you ready?" I said, "I'm going to need about 5 more minutes."
Yep. Yeah, I think it was more like 10 or 15, though.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. So 35 seconds later, Noah was dressing out.
I was ready to go up the bar.
Tommy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Where
Tommy.
can anybody that's listening to this go find more out about Sierra? Website or anything like that?
We actually, there's an app that you can download, the Sierra app, and we also have a maintenance one. So
Nice.
download on your Apple.
What's the web
Samsung.
address for that?
Oh, Sierra, it's right on, it's an actual app.
But your website's also
Sierra Internationalmachinery.com.
SierraInternationalMachinery.com.
Yep.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Jansen.
Thanks.
All right.
Jansen, let's go.
Yeah, baby.
All right, we're back with Sean Davis from Davis Index. Sean, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So, we're excited for this guest for sure, aren't we, Noah?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're going to get into what Sean does and the company he founded, but if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, where am I looking? If you look down here at the bottom of the screen,
I was looking at
just looking over here somewhere.
What the fuck?
So, there's a ticker going across the bottom, brought to you by Davis Index and news of the industry, maybe some pricing standpoints, things like that. So thanks again for being here, bud.
Thanks so much for having
So,
me.
you want to give us just a brief history on what Davis Index is and how you got involved in that sort of thing?
I mean, the really short story is that, Davis Index is, of course, a market publication, right? We publish prices for scrap, ferrous, non-ferrous, around the world. We do it for 27 countries, I think, for ferrous, and I think it's about maybe 17 countries for non-ferrous, and it's daily pricing, so it's not like weekly and things like that.
Nice.
It is tech-led, so the way we capture data, the way we process data is very different, so that's why it's very accurate information, right? There's a lot of news, a lot of market analysis, and things like that. But essentially, it's just it's a great resource for market intelligence in our industry, and it's very well priced so that anyone can access it. That's the very simple.
Now we can all access it, but can somebody like Noah understand what's going on with market analysis?
I mean, obviously, you would need to be in the industry, right? So like.
Even if
I
he
can't
was,
imagine.
I don't think he'd understand. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, what I'm saying is like I can't imagine like someone from outside the industry even wants to read a scrap publication, right? So but
feel free to offend Noah, by the way. Like, that's okay.
I don't get
I'm
offended.
just saying, right? Like but outside, yeah. I mean, like if you're in the industry, absolutely, it's it gives you because like when you're an owner operator, right? You're running your P&L. You've got so many things to worry about at your own yard, right? At your own facility, and obviously like. One of the ways that the data we publish is used obviously is in contracts, like industrial contracts, but business owners don't get the time to take a step back and see what are the trends emerging in the industry, right? Like how is a transportational change affected, my market in Chicago or my market in wherever, right? Miami, for example, right? So, so to them it's extremely useful to read this and know, okay, fine, look, I can take a little bit of time out of my day and get fully acquainted with what's happening in my stainless market or my aluminum market or copper market outside just the price. Like, why is that price going up or why is it going down? What does the market think is going to happen in the next 30 days, right? So that's kind of a lot of the information we carry. Obviously, along with like your standard industry news, which is like, company results and, big personnel changes and things like that, right? So anything that can kind of impact price is what we tend to carry, yeah.
Awesome. What's your history? How'd you get into the business, the scrap world?
Lost a bet? No.
Yeah, I was forced to.
Someone had a gun in my hand and said, fucking do it.
I tell people my initiation into the industry was I actually was recruited by a recruiter to go to this outside sales job, and they sent me to the wrong company on accident, and I've been stuck at the wrong company.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like, so for a lot of us that come from outside the industry and join this industry, I think obviously like, your first year or 2 years is such a steep learning curve. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years and I'm still learning, so don't get me wrong. Yeah. There's so much to learn, but at the same time, like your first 1 or 2 years is just like, it's overwhelming, right? It's so different. There's so much to understand, right? But so even if you like accidentally fall into this industry, if you've been around, like I tell people this all the time, look, I've had the good fortune and the opportunity and the blessing to hire about 170 people in our industry, right, over the last 15 years. And, I tell them all the time, like, if you make it through the first year or 2 years and you like doing it, you're no longer stuck in it. You're just going to be doing this for a very long time, right? Like,
it's hard to be like go anywhere else after you've been in this.
Yeah, because you build a genuine affinity to it, and you the people are great. Ours is a unique industry from that sense. Like, we genuinely have all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds working in our industry, right? So you've got it's just so much fun. Like an event like this, like Consumers Night, is so much fun, right?
Sorry, our producer's throwing shit around over there. So.
I got in basically. I won't take you back to my entire history, but like I moved to New York about I think it was about 15 and a half years ago from London, and at that time I had my own tech startup, and I exited that startup while I was living in New York.
Okay.
And I was single, right? And I was having
still the case?
No, I'm married. I'm about to have a child in June soon.
Sean is off the market.
I've been very happily married for 11 years. I love my wife to bits. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. But
she's also not standing here like this.
No, I'm not saying. Oh my God.
Genuinely meaning this.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. No. So so when I exited my tech startup, obviously, so I had some money, but I was like, after a couple of I think it was 2 months, right? I was like, I need something to keep me busy during the day, right? Like, so I said, okay, let me do a day job. I'm fucking around at night, and that's fine. But let me do something, So I had a lot of background in journalism and as an entrepreneur previously. And I just started knocking on a few doors, and then, a job opened up, an opportunity opened up at what was then called American Metal Market, AMM. So I joined them as a non-ferrous correspondent, basically covering aluminum and copper, right, lead and zinc. And then I was with them, I think maybe for about 5 years. And then I left Argus and I left AMM and I joined Argus to build the Argus Metal Prices product. which was a lot of fun. Building something from scratch is always great, you know. And then I was with them for about 4 years, and then I left to build Davidson Jules, my technology company. So I have two companies, right?
Okay.
Both service the industry, right?
Yep.
So I love this industry. I've only built solutions for this industry, and I'm really happy to say that over the last 5 years, I've also been able to actively invest in companies that are solving problems for our industry.
Sure.
Nice.
You know, on the technology side, but yeah.
In your last 15 years, have you think technology changed our industry at all? You know, I think people say junkyard dog. They don't understand
realize.
the
I think
industry.
I would say that in the last 15 years, all the innovation, all the money that has gone into innovating in our industry on the technology side has all gone mostly into the hardware side, right? Like equipment. How do we recover more materials out of these? You know, the downstream, the upstream. You know, like a lot, so much. I mean that advancement has been phenomenal, right, in our industry, and people don't understand how high tech that is. Yeah. It's insane to think that, you know, you can send in all this mixed material down a conveyor belt, and then at the end of it, it's literally separated every small, like, you know, here's aluminum, here's copper, and even in that now we can recover better grades, and we can recover more nickel and more magnesium, and you know, it's just phenomenal. So on the equipment side, there's absolutely been some phenomenal innovation, right, and that's continuing, right, at a very, very fast pace. I think on the software side, it's been a lot slower, and that's actually why I've been.
I don't know how that happened with Noah up here. Somebody dropped a glass. That's usually you.
He's getting ready. Where's the drink, man?
Dude, I've been trying to go to this bar for the last 2.5 hours.
Send a basket down,
I've
right?
been striking out at this bar.
They told us once, so we're there like dogs with our tongues hanging out. Like
At 1 p.m., they're like, no,
it's
we'll wait
now
till
3
3.
o'clock, so
At 1 p.m.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then they said, no, we're going to open at 3, so.
Oh shit!
I've been
that sucks.
striking out all day.
Okay.
The girls with our company bought some seltzers last night.
Right.
Me and Noah had some of those for breakfast.
Hey man, if you want a drink, I can order some. We'll get them up here. You want a drink? You want to get really fucked up? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah, but on the software side, I think that's where, like, you know, because like people came in and built a lot of software to run yards, right? So there's a lot of yard management software. Yeah. Like our industry still doesn't have a damn good accounting software. Like it's weird, right? So, you know, so over the last 5 years, I've really committed a lot of my time and attention and money, right, to essentially starting to solve the software problem. And it's not just me. Now, in the last few years, there've been a lot of companies that have started up in our industry to start solving problems on the software side. So yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, we actually had Drake from ReMatter on.
That's right. Drake's
today,
awesome. I love that company.
Yeah.
ReMatter, yeah, great. So ReMatter and GreenSpark are the companies that are doing, a more modern technology stack for yard software, right? The existing yard software providers are also doing a lot of work on modernizing their tech stack. So that's finally happening, right? But there's still a lot of area for technology in our space. So and it's happening. Like there's a lot.
And I think like. How long ago did you guys do your publication with A-Line?
So that was about 10, 12 years ago. We were trying to devise like a pricing index.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
So we had some company partners that fizzled out with each other, so it didn't end up working out. But
this was nowhere near as
intricate
as yours. We were just basically trying to put together regional pricing based on loads that were sold.
So this is for ferrous or non-ferrous? Oh wow, okay. What was it called?
It was called Strategic Scrap.
Nice.
We have a lot of memorabilia left over. We actually have a Monopoly game that I have pallet loads of.
So let me ask you.
I finally got one of those.
So let me ask you this, right? Yeah. So like ISRI has done a lot of work around trying to understand how our industry can communicate better with people outside the industry, right? So whether it's for policy, whether it's for like just, you know, your local neighborhoods, you know, giving you an easier time, right? Understanding what you do. And so so the position they've taken is like, hey, maybe we should abandon the use of the word scrap and use, you know, recycled material.
Sure.
And what do y'all think about that? Like, what, you know?
I'll go first if you guys don't buy it. It's fun saying scrap, like, because I'm in it. You know what I mean?
The word,
So like, that term is, to me, is almost heartfelt. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I have a sticker on my car. Like I say, scrap wins. Like it's on all my cars. Like I love the word scrap. But
so my favorite part is, you know, we're more industrial-based company than like peddler traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is going into these meetings and thinking, you're the scrap guy. You know, who have you buried or how much money do you? You know what I mean?
But this is the thing, right? But it attracts such a negative stereotype, right? So I guess the question is then, like, do you feel like okay, if I go in and I position myself like, hey, listen, we're dealing in recycled materials, right? That the conversation with these industrials changes, like they take you a little more seriously. Do you think that has a benefit? What about you? What do you think of the term? Like, how would you receive the phrase, recycled materials versus scrap? Like
Versus scrap?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like to the general public, scrap is more just...
It's the junkyard dog.
Yeah, it's like what you touched on, yeah. So recycled materials might touch more the white collar type of guys that see it that way, but...
You obviously deal on a global standpoint, whereas we're more regionally out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Do you see the term loosely used or more appropriately used in different regions?
No, I think like globally it's still scrap, right? Like, but it is hurting our industry, right? In terms of like, because again, to your point, right? Like when someone else hears the word, they just immediately go to that like, that negative sort of stereotype, right? And but ours is a very positive industry. It is a very positive impact industry, right?
Awesome.
And but we know that, right? And we're struggling like because policymakers don't get it, right? And they pass very bad policies, and so bad policies are currently being passed around the world, right? And like in Europe, for example, because of something that happened, 25, 30 years ago, they allowed the word waste to be used for this industry, right? For the scrap industry in Europe, and so it's now beginning. I mean, it has caused a lot of issues, and it's illegal. Like anyway, but the point is, like I think universally now the industry recognizes that for the conversation outside our industry, we need better phrasing. So to people to understand that it is actually very positive what we do. And I think, so obviously ISRI spent a lot of money, did a lot of research on this, and they use a firm, and so they came up with like, recycled materials is the way to go. And I think that in other regions, like in Europe, some companies have adopted that, some companies are still, wondering. But, what's interesting in Europe is that, they communicate so well with their local authorities, right? So like, people are, like, you won't see people in neighborhoods trying to push out the scrapyard.
Shut down the scrap.
Right? Like, because they understand what it is. They understand that fires happen. The fire marshals are there all the time. Like, everyone's very well educated on what it is, right? But here, I mean, come on, think about it. We have the world's best shredder ever built. Right. The most sophisticated modern technology. They spend a lot of money doing it, right? It's called Reserve. It's in Chicago, and it's still... The city won't let it run. Yeah. No, it's not. It's off the ground. It's absolutely functional. The city won't let it run.
Yeah.
This is, in fact, like if I was the city of Chicago, I'd be like, hey man, listen, the whole world needs to come and visit this shredder, see what they built, because it's all under a shed. Right? This is the world's best, even from an environmental impact, right? The best fucking shredder ever built. Come and see it. Come and see it, right? Come and see. Like as a city, I would be like, fuck, we have literally the best piece of technology, the cleanest piece of technology to ever fucking shred recycled materials or scrap, right? And the city won't fucking let it open. How fucked up is that?
Why won't they let it open?
Oh my God, that's a whole bunch of shit. Like
the state, the
state EPA and the city EPA and blah blah blah. Like different things were licensed and permitted, and I feel really bad for them because they definitely. I mean. Here's another glaring case of a company that's done nothing wrong. Right? Like even legally, nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. And the city just through some, bullshit fucking politics, just won't let it open. How fucked up is that?
Right. Well, and not even like from the cost standpoint too. I mean,
but at the same time, right? I'm certain of it, right? Like the city probably has a whole bunch of other shit going. Like even the state going, oh fuck, ESG and sustainability and zero carbon emissions and here's our fucking strategy. And I'm like, yeah, but a big piece of that is this fucking shredder that can do a whole bunch of that work for you, and you won't let it start. Like this is what we're dealing with in the U.S. It's really fucked up.
Do you think we'll get to a point? And this is kind of maybe where I think about it is, the green term gets thrown a lot, being a green company.
Oh, yeah, I hate those buzzwords. I fucking hate it.
But I think people are going to get sick of it eventually. I think we're going to hit a point where it's like, okay.
But it's like anything, right? Like, I mean, if you do too much of it, right, you call it greenwashing, right? But it's like, woke was initially like, oh, you're woke, and now it's like, oh, fuck, that's a really bad word, right? Like, because it's, it's a lot of these things get bastardized, right? A lot of them, like, you just use it fucking very, very liberally, right? And it loses its entire meaning, right? So you're absolutely right there. I think, like, but our industry's never done that. We've never done that, right? Like, we've always just
marketing campaign.
We've always just been recycling, right? Right. So we've always had this impact, but unfortunately, because we've allowed the the negative stereotype to continue for so long. It is hurting us, and we do need to make a concerted effort, to change the narrative.
Sure. From an owner standpoint of a scrapyard, I always have said to people, I'm jealous of the garbage guy,
Right?
Because garbage never stops. You know what I mean? And also us paying for our raw materials. That's kind of like foreign to people outside of our industry.
Correct.
It's and a lot of the industrial companies we work with, it's part of their bottom line now. It's into their budget. I get X amount of dollars from scrap at the end of the year. So I do think two things one thing that did help us though is being quote unquote an essential business during the COVID era.
Yeah, absolutely.
You start hearing things like essential materials or things like that.
That was huge.
Materials. What people don't realize is everything.
But here's the other thing. Even that though, again, associations like ISRI and a whole bunch of industry players had to put a lot of effort in with state legislators to get them to realize that recycling is essential.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't just happen overnight, right? Like these guys had to fight for it and say, hey, listen, no, I mean, what the fuck? You want everything to go to landfill? You want things to just pile up? And then they're like, oh fuck, okay, so we need the scrapyards to stay open, right? Like, it wasn't something that just came. Oh, okay, fine. In terms of essential, the obvious ones are like medical, But hey, what about scrap? And then the industry had to fight for it, and then we got that. So it took. I mean, our whole industry hurt for a couple of months till till these guys could do it. So.
I think we could talk about this forever, Sean.
I know. Yeah. Sorry.
So will you come back and see us some?
Anytime.
Okay, absolutely. Well, maybe.
She's there like, your time's up, motherfucker. Get off this fucking mic. Right? And he spoke so much on this one. Like, thanks for your contribution. That was phenomenal.
You said one thing.
Yeah, I think I got a couple of words.
Next time, why you two sit out, and me and Sean will just hang out for a while. So.
I was just listening.
You guys are the eye candy of this whole deal. So.
Yeah, right.
Sean, we didn't give much on your product, so we want to.
Oh no, listen, don't worry about it. I just love talking about the industry. Honestly,
where can folks go to find out more about your product?
DavisIndex.com.
Very easy, very easy.
There
It's
you
also
go.
the ticker. That will be down here. It's not here now.
I keep looking, every time you point, I'm like, where the fuck is that?
We'll have it on it. So look forward to having you back, and thanks for coming on today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Good luck to all of you.
What a great show, fellas.
Yeah.
This was awesome today.
Thanks to our guests. It's been an awesome. This venue is incredible, as you guys can see behind us. Just gorgeous.
Brooke's been very serious today.
I've been trying not to be too serious. I have a feeling
Night one just tore you up.
This is going to go out the window here with a couple of beverages.
Chardonnays.
Yeah, I don't know about Chardonnay.
You're all business right now. Can we get a little play out of you? Can I play with you, Brooks?
Like I said,
Brooks, sing us out of this. Sing us out of the show.
You can say it. Go ahead and say what you said to me. You already talked about how large my mama was last night.
If you're going to start, you better finish.
Gross.
Yuck.
All right, what's up? Anyways, thanks to all our guests. We're here. Drake from ReMatter, Tommy from Sierra International, and Sean from Davidson Index. We had a blast. Are you laughing at the way I said that?
Yeah, ReMatter.
ReMatter.
How many spaces are in ReMatter?
It's ReEEEE.
ReMatter.
ReMatter. What's up? But it was awesome. Thanks to our guests for being here, and we'll see you guys on some upcoming shows. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.